my kitchen. Tonight we are going to cook. Actually, the last time I cooked it was Friday, and we made seafood pasta. Tonight we're actually going to keep along in that same vein because it's Friday and it's Lent, and I was raised Catholic. Oh, wait, my thing's on here. Yeah, give me a second here. There we go. And whereas I am not particularly religious, being raised Catholic means that you eat fish on Fridays because apparently a fish is a vegetable. Hey, the more you know. So, out of habit, I tend to eat seafood on Fridays during Lent, and today's going to be no exception. So, let's get started. We are going to do some salmon patties, which I know I've done on stream before, but they keep well. And we are also going to do some shrimp on skewers with some lime sauce and some nice hot pepper. And let me get my sweater all adjusted here. I like my new sweater. It's nice and warm, but it was apparently made for someone with wings. I feel like Rocky the Flying Squirrel in the thing. Kids, ask your parents. It was the Rocky and Bullwinkle show, you know, Bullwinkle the Moose. Hey, Rocky! Never mind. So, we're also going to do some potatoes. And the potatoes we are going to... I think we're going to do refried potatoes, because I've got some potatoes that are going bad, but I also got some that are brand new, so I could do kind of a sliced up skewer thing with butter all in between them. Ooh, that would be good. We will decide as we go, but in the meantime, we should probably get started since I am ill-prepared and have just now come back from the grocery. Ow, my hand is sore. It has been for a long time. I'm old. It's probably arthritis. Ms. Duffy, happy Friday! How you doing? I just saw that you were in. Let me turn this around so I can see you guys better. Yeah, butterfly style indeed. I need to do something with it though. It's a little odd. But it's comfy. So that said, let me get unpacked here. We've got tea, we've got energy drinks. I'm probably going to bust into the tea now because I'm dying of thirst. We have trimps for the trimps on the skewers. We've got rye bread, and what I'm going to do with this is actually toast some of it in the toaster oven so that we can get breadcrumbs for the salmon patties. And I'm actually probably going to start that right now. And you guys can't see my toaster oven. Maybe I can help you out here. It's a mess over on this part of the cabinet. Hello. My other computer. This is the one that I talk to you guys on. I'm going to have to move it over here a second. It's nice to see you. It's nice to have you here while I'm live. So what I'm going to do is take the tray out of the toaster oven so that it toasts evenly on both sides. And I'm going to take the paper cup that I had the coconut drink in off of the toaster so that it doesn't catch fire. Because fires in the kitchen are bad unless, you know, you're trying to flambe something, and I am not. So let us get some rye toast going here. Ooh, that's going to be really good. Sorry. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the breadcrumbs for the, and that's probably too much, but, you know, I'll make a lot. It'll be great. They'll keep. So we just layer those in the toaster oven. Turn the dial. Oh, and it will help if we plug the toaster oven in. I'm doing good today. I'm actually doing real good today, Ms. Duffy, because I have got some excellent news from my mortgage and lending guy. And that news would be that my loan for my house was approved, which means I can proceed with getting the mortgage to this place, purchase it from my wife, and keep it. So I get to own the Weber Palace that you see behind me, and I absolutely love that because I do love my kitchen and the rest of the house that's around it, but especially my kitchen because it's where I meet you guys. Sorry, I'm putting groceries away while I talk to you. We've got the bread toasting, and let me make sure my laptop cord doesn't touch it. And thank you very much. I'm really excited about it. So all we have to do now is get through closing, and life will be good. So while that's going, we've got a couple of things to do. First and foremost, we probably ought to open and drain the salmon for the salmon patties. We probably also ought to get a couple of eggs out and chop up some vegetables for it. I bought some celery. I got some carrots in the fridge. But I've got a question for you guys. Would you rather see, and since it's Ms. Duffy talking, you've probably got the final say-so on this, which would you guys rather see? Baked, refilled potatoes, you know, where you scoop them out after they're cooked, and then you make a mashed potato and you fill it in with like a mixture of butter and sour cream, and you sprinkle cheese on top of it and do like little potato skins? Or would you rather see a potato that you cut up into very fine slices like a little accordion, stick on a skewer, melt butter and spices and stuff all between that, you know, spiral cut it, and then roast it in the oven? Because we can do either or both of those, because I will eat me some potatoes now. But if you guys want to see both of them, I will make smaller amounts of each. On the other hand, if you just want to see one or the other, you know, you guys can feel free to pick, because this is an interactive stream. At least for today it is. Let me see what you say. Little kid in me still wonders why rye bread doesn't taste like chocolate. Well, you know, it doesn't taste like chocolate, but it does kind of have that same certain something that chocolate does. It's always so just rich and warm and inviting. I love pumpernickel rye. Putting my Gatorades away. Mango Extremo is very delicious. I am going to crack into that tea because I am very thirsty. Pardon me a moment. Excuse me. Needed to hydrate. That being said, why don't we start with stick potato or both? Okay, well, then we will do the stick potato, because those are always interesting. I thought you guys might choose that, which is why I got fresh potatoes, because with the refried potatoes I can use the older ones. But with the stick potato, you want a fresh one so it tastes really good. So, that being said, let us start prepping the potatoes, because we will need to do that first. They will take a while. Now, for the tater skin potatoes, let me see if I got any of these worth salvaging. Maybe one. There we go. Alright, here's our tater skin potatoes. We're going to wash them real quick over here in the sink, so come on over here with me, don't be shy. And we'll just get these washed real quick. And luckily I cleaned out my sink earlier today, so when I finish washing these, all I've really got to do is set them in the sink so they can drip dry while I get out a fork. And I'll show you guys why a fork in a second. It's because we're going to microwave these. Because you can microwave a potato much faster than you can boil it. Although I'd recommend covering it with some towel paper just so that you don't have it like explode everywhere, especially because I just cleaned my microwave. Let me show you this. If you want to feel like a responsible adult, clean your microwave. It's beautiful. All right, so if you're going to microwave a potato, what you don't want is for the potato to explode. Well, you don't want exploding potatoes most of the time anyway, unless you've built a potato cannon and you're trying to, you know, make it really impressive. But I'm on a tangent at this point. So, potato fork. Bump, 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 bump. This is a good way to aerate your spud before putting it on the grill too. And if you stick it on the grill, what I would recommend doing it next is rubbing the skin down with like mustard and some other spices, just to let it sink in while cooking, which is always good. But, you know, you'll notice that I am stabbing real good and deep into the potato so that we kind of get some holes through it, just to let it vent. Also, I'm going to stick these on a big plate to keep them a little further apart from each other. Let me do the other one. This poor old spud's a little decrepit, but I'm going to eat it anyway because it looks like it's probably still fine. I can smell that rye bread toasting. There's a shame there's not any butter on it, but the problem is that I can't put butter on it because the goal is to get it crispy so I can crumble it into hard breadcrumbs and use it as a filler for the salmon patties. All right, into the microwave these go for about, let's start with 4 minutes and see how they do. I'm not worried about the new spud, I'm worried about the sketchy spud. So, let's see what's going on over here. Sweater has a hood. Yes, the sweater has a hood.
I am the great wizard. You shall all listen to me.
No. We're not going to do that. I'm enough of a geek without the wizard hood. Alright, so vegetables for the salmon patties. We will worry about the shrimp last because it cooks real fast. So right now we need a cutting board. I'll be right back. And here we go. Set our salmon off to the side, and let me point you guys this way so that you can see what I'm gonna do with this celery. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna slice off the very tips, which is kind of a shame because there's not a lot of leaves on this celery, and I'm gonna try and bend them out of the way because I like the leaves. They're one of my favorite bits. There we go. Get the tops off so they're all nice and clean, and that one's got a little bit of a spot on it, so we see that spot right there, just knock that right off, just like that. You can also hear the potatoes hissing. So we're going to cut these real thin and fine because it's going into our patties. And what you want, let me hold that up to the light for you real quick. See how you can see right through that? You want it real thin like that. And it's not hard, just takes a little practice. And I'm doing it slow so you can see it, but when you get a little faster at it, you can just go at it like that. There we go. That's enough, and I can put this in my fridge for later. Well, except not in that bag because it's full of potatoes. So I'll deal with that in a minute. I like the leaves. I mean, that's a little bit big for one, but again, I like them, so I'm just going to leave it like that. And we will set these off to the side in a bowl and work on the carrots next. So, come with me, we'll go get some carrots. Well, I guess I could have left it there, you know, instead of sticking my ass toward the camera, but heck, that probably happens a lot on the internet, but we ain't that kind of channel here. So at any rate, we're gonna pick out some likely looking carrots here. That is not a likely looking carrot, but if you're frugal, just chop that right on off and it's beautiful now. So this time, when I go and put the carrots away, I'm going to leave you guys looking at the countertop. There we go. Now, these are not the right kind of carrots for cutting up little and chopping because, well, they're little. They're already a proper size. But they're what I've got. And sometimes you've got to work with what you've got. And in doing that, what we want to do is have them first. And the reason is because if you have them, they won't start rolling all over the place on you when you chop them up little. I'm going to let those potatoes sit in there a minute. Matter of fact, I probably put them on for another minute. Why not? It won't hurt them. And I can smell them cooking. But again, the reason we have these is so that they don't roll around when I chop them into little bitty bits. And it's safer that way. So, and I can't do all of them at once. But I can probably handle a few, you know. There we go. See, if they're flat, they can't roll around on you. And in a minute, I'm going to come over and check the chat and see if you guys are saying anything. Forgive me if I'm ignoring anyone, but I can't see it from here. And really, while I'm chopping things up, my main focus is on my fingers. But we will get these. Let me back this up so you guys can see this. All right, sounds like taters. And I can hear them in there still, even though the microwave's off. And what that means is they are not fit to be touched yet. I'm almost done with these, and then I'll come over and visit you guys. You know, the funny thing is, I'm left-handed. But one of the few things that I do much better right-handed than left-handed is use a kitchen knife. I don't know why. Have no clue why I cut right-handed but do everything else left-handed. I also tend to throw a frisbee right-handed, so, you know. Of course, I'm a weird little mutant, but that's okay. All right, we've got our celery and our carrots, and we've got lots of them. We might have more than we actually need, but that's okay. We'll have vegetable patties held together with salmon. How's about that? Let me see what's going on with you guys, and I'll be right back. And good idea about the carrots. I wonder. Oh yeah, I don't know. You know, just something up here from when I was born. So let's see what these spuds are doing. Test them with a fork. No, they're not done. So I'm going to turn them over and let them keep on cooking. Now that one, the little one, is almost done. The big one is hard as a rock. So we're going to do 2 more minutes. We're going to pull the little one, and then we'll let the big one go for another minute because we don't want to overcook. I'm also going to salvage some more of these leaves because I like the leaves. All right, so we've got that ready for the salmon patties. And what we're going to need is a bowl to mix them up in. So, again, I'll be right back. I'm all right. I'm back. And I've got a bowl. All right, so we're going to start with the salmon. Chicken of the sea, pink, skinless, boneless salmon. I also have a thing of mackerel here, so we'll get to that real soon. But tonight it's salmon patties. Uh-oh, hang on. Hey Lily, how you doing? And actually, if someone could type in the stream and make sure that I'm still streaming, because I think the microwave is playing havoc with the Wi-Fi signal. So if you guys want to let me know that I'm still online, that would be awesome. And I'll check it in just a second. How are you tonight, Lily? Everything going all right? We're making, oh crud, I didn't change the thing up there. Let me change that to salmon patties. And shrimp. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I'm good. Oh, good. Yeah, because the my computer where I look at you, I was sitting there on the screen like, and I was like, uh-oh. So right now what we're doing is we are getting the salmon out of the can and making sure we get all the little wonderful loose bits because, you know, that's good stuff. So there's one can in our giant bowl, and I could probably turn this around so you guys could see. So we'll just get our salmon in our bowl here. We got another can of it to open up. I hate these pop-top cans. I mean, I've cut myself on them. That one's all bent up. Let me use the other one for this. Good way to drain this, put the lid on it, just squeeze the water out, and it keeps most of the fish from coming out along with it. And then you just open it up, and you know you got all the water out if it doesn't actually come out of the can all that easy. Just scrape it out. Now, if my little cat was still here living with me, instead of enjoying life down in Chattanooga, she would be going berserk over this canned fish. Because that's what cats do. I'll be right back. I'm going to throw these away, and I'll be back in a sec. Actually, I'm not going to throw these away because today was trash. No, yesterday was trash day. But anyway, I don't want to smell these for a week, so I'll throw them out when I get done with this. I do want to set them aside, though. So what you guys been up to today? Anything good? We have got, okay, the salmon. Let me get the eggs real quick. Okay. And let's check on that bread that we were going to make breadcrumbs out of for the salmon patties as well. All right. See this? That's about right. So what we've got to do is get all our bread out of our toaster oven here. Let's see if it's cool enough to touch. Yeah, there we go. So there's a couple of schools on the best way to crumble this up. And if you've left your bread to sit out, like in a bag where you've sliced the top overnight so the bread can get good and stale, it'll be nice and crunchy. So what you can basically do is just, you know, crackle it up like this. I did not do that with this bread. I'm just kind of, I've got the toastiest bits of it here. And it works for that, but the parts that are a little softer and fresher, that's not going to work with. So what I recommend is we get us a Ziploc bag. Trust me, this is going to be fun. Throw your bread into your Ziploc bag. Oh, you guys are going to like this, trust me. Let's flip our cutting board over after we get all the stuff off of it. Ziploc bag. Yeah, here's what I want. Meat tenderizer. Oh, if you're wearing headphones, this might be a little bit loud. Sorry. There we go. Now, some of this bread is not, in fact, stiff enough to crumble like it should. But if you take out the big pieces that are kind of doughy, And you get the little bits. Look at all those nice crumbs in the bottom right there. I'm going to let the rest of it sit out, and I'm going to get crumbs for the next thing that I want to do breadcrumbs for. This will sit out and it'll get stale, and I can crunch up the rest of it as I feel like it. But for right now, I can just kind of tear up a few more bits here and there. And you can do that with the rest of it too. I've just got a little much for what I need. I just need enough to use as a binder. But just keep tearing it up and putting it in there. You can even go ahead and see that. Isn't that wonderful? Just like big pieces like this, of course, just break up. There you go. And just pour the rest of it in there. Oh God, that tastes good. I love pumpernickel rye. See, like, just Yes, that's the good stuff. So, I'm going to finish getting enough bread to fish ratio in here. And actually, see how it's going so far. We might dump this in here just to get a feel for how much bread we want so that we've got enough binder to bring the patties together. And I think I was pretty much right in my estimation of needing 4 thin slices of bread, so what I am going to do is go ahead and just tear all this up while I'm standing here. But let me turn you guys around so I can see you and talk to you. Let's see. How come the kitty moved? Well, my wife and I are no longer living together. And we're still excellent friends, and we still like and love each other very, very much. We're just not going to really be suited. I mean, we've been together 20 years almost. It's not like it's not like it was a whirlwind romance that didn't work out. We just kind of, hit a point in our lives when we want different things, and it's not a bad thing. And I still enjoy talking to her very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing her next time she comes up here. But I am allergic to cats, so she took the cat with her so the cat would have a much better life. When I adopt a pet, it has a lifetime contract with me. And unfortunately, I mean that. So, and I love the little cat very much. And she was my cat. But if it was just going to be me or her, I figured the cat would be a whole lot happier with my wife. So, I sent her down to Chattanooga with Dee. And it's worked out real good for both of us. She's had a furry little companion. And look, my arms are not covered in hives and bumps and little red welts, which they have been for 19 years. I have clear arms for the first time in my life since, 1998. It's wonderful. But that said, I do miss the cat, but I don't miss having a cat, if that makes any sense. And that is the story of where the cat went. But, oh, and hey, Dee, if you're watching, give the cat a scritch on the head for me. But we are almost done tearing up this bread, which is relaxing if you're alone, but when you're trying to do a cooking show online, it makes you feel antsy because you feel like you should be doing something to entertain your viewers. That said, we are almost done, and I think I'm going to help move this along by cutting out the middleman for this last piece. All right, so this is what it looks like so far, and it's looking really good. So all we have to do now is put enough egg in this to get it ready to make a patty. And I think here we have, excuse me, piece of bread caught. Much better. We have 6 eggs here. I don't think we're going to need all of them. So we're just going to crack a few of them, start adding them in, and see what we see. I didn't ever say this was an exact science. Here. you guys might want to watch me crack these eggs, he says as he drops a piece of shell in like an idiot. Give me a sec. I'll turn you guys around here in a moment. After I fish this shell out of here. There we go. Let's get salmonella all over our computer. It's going to be wonderful. You feel the same way about taking on a pet? Yeah. I love animals. I just don't feel like owning anymore for a good long while, if ever again. Yeah, so I'm probably going to need 4. See the ratio of this together? Although I'm going to mix this together first and see what I have. I'm going to leave the bowl here in case I need to crack more eggs into it. It's always good to crack your eggs into a bowl instead of a big, mixture-looking thing like this. Because if you crack it into a mixture like this and there's a piece of shell in there, well, you know what? Good luck finding it. But if you crack it into a bowl first, you're probably all right. You can fish it out, or if it's small enough, you can make an active and informed decision to ignore it and get a little more calcium in your diet. But that being said, there we go. A bowl is a handy thing to have. All right, that's looking good. I mean, it could probably stand one more, but I think that'll hold together all right. Yeah, see, that looks like it's sticking together pretty good, and it's like not falling down when I turn the bowl up sideways like this. So now what we got to do is spice it. Let me wash my hands real quick. I don't have a towel handy. Let me grab one real quick and I'll be right back. So, here we go. Let me check the chat real quick. Oh yes, very amicable. Everything's good. Now, what do we want in this? I know what we want. We want some paprika. Yes, yes. Paprika is always good. And I'll tell you what I'd really like in it is some onion. But I don't like raw onion, and I haven't got one that's like sauteed up, nor have I planned for that. So I'm going to go get some onion powder. I'll be right back. Onion powder, hooray! Cook's friend, my friend. There we go. A little bit. Now, I know we've already got celery in this, but a little celery salt never hurt. Of course, I'm out, so it's not going to help either. Let's see what we got in here. Coriander's always good. So let's do a little coriander. And you know what would go really good with the rye bread is some powdered fennel. Not a lot, just like a little bit. And last but not least, some black pepper, plenty of it. And I know what I want, and I don't know if I have any. I would love to put some pink peppercorns in this. And this looks like all I've got left in this little thing here, and that's really not enough to make much of a difference. Let me see if I've got any. Oh, I do. Look at that. But I don't want to deal with that grinder. Now, this is a coffee grinder, but I use it to grind up cascabel peppers usually, which are wonderful. And the flavor won't hurt this any. So what I'm going to do, instead of just cleaning it out like I ought to, is I'm going to get a few of these rose-colored peppercorns. Just a little dab of them like that. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but just a little handful, and I'm going to throw it in there. Close that up. And we're going to plug this in and turn them into powder. Give it a little shake. The works on coffee beans. It works on. I wouldn't run coffee through this after you put spices in it, but like if you throw like chunks of nutmeg in this, like dried peppers, bay leaves, anything you want to turn into a powder as opposed to a seed. It works on fennel seeds. It works on celery seeds. Any kind of seed, spice. There we go. Ooh, look at that. That smells like pink pepper. Ooh, it's so nice. I love pink pepper. So that was a good decision. And of course some salt, because I like salt. Probably not good for you, but you know, everyone needs a vice. So that's what it looks like now. We just got to stir it up, mix it through to make sure all that deliciousness gets into every single solitary bite. Oh man, I wish you guys could smell this. It's really coming together. So all we got to do now is fry it. But before that, and yeah, I can put the egg bowl away. Give me a sec here. We're gonna need to attend to the potatoes. So let me find my towel, and I'll show you what we're gonna do with that. Let's see. It does smell lovely. And you know, here's the thing, it's hard to find pink peppercorns anymore. You know, back about 10, 15 years ago, they were like all the rage and you could find them everywhere. And they were like, oh, gift basket set for the kitchen cook, blah, blah, blah. You know, big friggin' jar of pink peppercorns would be in there. But they're hard to find anymore. And I like them. So, hey, like, you know, Mom, Dee, Lisa, any of you guys on here, you want to know what I want for Christmas? Some pink peppercorns, some celery salt, and I think I'm out of arrowroot, but Christmas is a long way away and I'm going to need arrowroot before then, so I'll probably be good on that. Potatoes. I'll go put these eggs away and be right back. Potatoes. Here we go. Oh yeah, that looks about right. I'm going to need another fork to stick in this because I've had the other one in the egg. Perfect. Yes. Let me show you. Fork goes in nice and soft. No resistance whatsoever. So what we do with these little bad boys is we very, very carefully, because they're going to be hotter than hell, we want to cut them in half. Which they should do very, very easily. And here's the sketchy tater. We're going to see how he does when we open him up. Oh yeah, it smells fine. It's wonderful. So we're good there. So, and the reason you have to be very careful, and with this one we're even going to take a little sample out of the core, and we're going to taste it. You remember, this one was a little soft and a little wrinkly when I put it in the microwave, but I hate for them to go to waste. The problem is in something like this where you're mixing all the flesh of all the potatoes together, if you have a bad one, it's going to ruin all of them. So always, if you're using a potato that's less than fresh from the store and firm and stuff like that, if you want to be sure of it, and don't just like eat a piece, chew on it, taste it real good, make sure it's fine. That is delicious. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that one. So we're good to go. So we need a little bowl here, and I'm going to get one. And I will show you what we do. For the potatoes, you get yourself a spoon, and you scoop out the tater's innards into the bowl. And they're still really hot, so I'm trying not to dance my hand all around. But if you see me flipping it around a little bit like this, it's because it's really hot. So kind of cut them out and get like a little boat going on like this, and set that aside. And then we go for this one. And see, I kind of got a little hole in that. I went too far with it. That'll be fine. Just try not to do that too much. This one's going to be all right. Ow, 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 that one's really hot. Trick for that is sticking on a towel while you're doing that. Just make sure it's a clean towel and one that will not impart some strange flavor on the potato. So just scoop all the guts out of the potato and stick it in the bowl. I'm kind of moving a little bit slow, but that's because of the towel. Now, we're going to do this last one. Yeah, there we go. I used to be a lot faster than this when I used to have to do 100 of them at a time. But that was back in the 90s when I worked in a restaurant. I'm old, people. Alrighty. So there we go. Beautiful empty potato skins. And now what we have to do is to make these into a filling. So the first thing we do is to decide what we want the filling to be. And I know what I like in them. Butter. And they're nice and hot, so the butter should cooperate real well with us. But let's put plenty of it in there. We're going to do some butter. A little more. I'm making a mess of it, but I can't really see what I'm doing since I'm trying to show you guys. More's the irony. Alright, so do you guys have any favorite spices that you like in stuffed potatoes? Because there's plenty we could be putting in there, but if you have a preference and I have it, I'll try it out. In the meantime, I'm going to find my paprika because that's a must, and plus it'll make it match flavors with the salmon patties we're about to do. So while I put a little paprika and salt and pepper on this, we'll discuss any other flavors we want to impart upon it. Let's see. Pepper. What else have we got in here? There's that mystery spice again. Okay, so here's the spice mix. It is paprika, garlic, salt, chili powder, mustard seed powder, onion, Worcestershire, and honey powder. That is exactly what we're going to put in this because it saves me the trouble of rounding up all that stuff. It's basically a barbecue rub, but we're going to use it as a potato filler tonight. Let me see what you guys have to say real quick. Excuse me. It's a strong rub. You've got phone aggro. Yes, exactly. You do really want to taste it. Now, we're just going to sprinkle that right into the potato filling like that. Ooh, that smells wonderful. So, I'll whip up the filling here where you guys can see it. And just mash it real good. And you know what we probably ought to do is to, now that there's butter in here, if we wanted anything in here like some shredded cheese, or even something like mustard or a touch of Worcestershire or something, now would be the time to put it in. Now, there's Worcestershire in that powder that I just stuck in there, so I don't need it. And for this evening, simple is best. What I am going to do is put a little bit of milk in it. Just because we want it creamier. And it'll make it into a better paste. Dairy is king, dairy is life. And if you're lactose intolerant, don't worry. I love soy, well, it's called soy milk. It's soy juice, but I do love it. Unfortunately, you do not want to put it in your potatoes. Find something else, because soy milk will not work. And the great thing is, because this came out of the potatoes, it should be just exactly the right amount to refill the potatoes with. Just grab you some tater filling, stuff your potatoes full. And when these come out of the oven, you could always top them with some sour cream, which I plan to do. Bacon, shredded cheese, which I also plan to do. And pretty much anything else you want. Now, you notice I'm kind of filling them a little bit skimpy. That's because I want to make sure that I have enough to fill all the potatoes a decent amount. And then after you do that, you see you get a minimum fill on it. And then you go back and then, you can add more to them when you know that you have enough for each skin. And that way, when you have multiple guests, which unfortunately I don't at the moment, but when you do, you make sure everyone gets a fair amount of tater. And so we've still got some here, and that one looks like it could use some. There we go. Pack it down. We'll put it on that one. It'll be a nice big one. Don't lose any. I mean, yeah, I know I'm sitting here scraping the very bottom of the bowl, but you went through all the trouble to make all that delicious potato glop. You don't want to lose any of it. There we go. Now, that's wonderful. So, next step is cheese, and I don't know if I have any cheese that is really suitable for potatoes. I had some cheddar, but I ate it all. So tonight we've got Parmesan, we've got Swiss, we've got like one piece of Munster. Munster is what we're going to put on these potatoes, because Munster is delicious, and I have one piece left, so we're going to quarter it and stick a piece just on the top of each of the potatoes. And there we go. So let's turn on the oven and bake these bad boys up. They're already cooked, so we don't really need to bake them much or long. I'm going to put it on 315 so that I have a little bit of a window to play with these things. Cookie sheet. We will place these on the cookie sheet. Let me get it to where you guys can see what I'm doing over here. Cookie sheet. Just cookie sheet. And I know what I want to do. I guess we'll put them kind of close together. That way if the cheese runs, it'll melt into itself. So here we go. Into the oven it goes. And then there's a little bit left on the plate, so you can... Yeah, that's good. Now, we're also going to do a potato that is a little different. It's a spiral cut potato, except I don't have a... Oop, hang on. Except I don't have a spiral slicer, so we're going to do it by hand, and it's not going to be so much a spiral as it is a more of an accordion, really. So let me get another cutting board out here, just so that everything stays clean and nice. I'll be with you guys in a second. Excuse me. Piece of potato. So, we're going to wash one more potato. And this one we're going to wash real good as well. sit there to dry a second. Excuse me. We're going to get us a skewer. Here's a trick for you. Olive oil here. My workspace is getting a little crowded, but have a gander at this. In this case, we're not going to be able to cut this sideways like I usually do, because it needs to be sliced thin, but we need to try and keep it. Well, potatoes always stick. We need to try and keep it thin, but we also need to keep it in the order in which we are cutting it. And just nice little thin medallions. Thick enough to where they're, toothsome, but thin enough to where they're going to cook decently fast. And I'm going to set those over there. A good sharp knife is your friend here. A dull knife is going to be a pain with this. And unfortunately, will not be as easy to deal with. And if I wasn't stupid, which apparently I am, what I would have done is stuck the skewer through this first so all these had a hole through them, and I don't have to try and get these things onto the skewer among each other one at a time. But apparently my brain isn't functioning quite at 100% this evening, so you'll have to forgive me. Now looky there, what you've got is a potato that is cut into slices. Here's a trick for you. Dry off your skewer real good, make sure it's good and clean. This is a metal one, so you need to oil it up before you use it. Now, put it in the oil bottle, tilt it, and you have oil on your skewer. Abracadabra. So I'm going to try and shove this through this potato all in one go without breaking any of the pieces. There we go. Now here's the trick though. You got to spread these pieces out a little bit so that there's space in between them. And if I had been bright enough to stab them first, that might have been easier. But as it is, I'm just going to have to kind of separate them out individually, which isn't as impressive, and it takes a lot longer. Come on. And they tend to crack if you're not careful doing it that way, so I have led you astray, and I apologize. That said, you can kind of nudge them along with your knife, although I'd do it with the back of the knife so you don't dull the blade of your knife on that metal skewer. There you go, just kind of wiggle them a little bit and they'll loosen up. But what we want to do is pack them close enough together to where all the butter and the spices and the herbs will kind of lay in between them, and the come on. Come on. There we go. The butter and the herbs and spices will lay in between them, but they're close enough together to keep it all from running out, is what I'm trying to say, and concentrating on mitigating the mess I've made with it. So again, apologies. That was not well conceived. And that is why there is an order of operations to things, and that is unfortunately not it for this. So there's what you have. You have a potato with gaps in between it, so that you can slather things in and on it, and you can roast it like a potato. But it, in fact, gets all crispy on the edges and wonderful, and we're going to work on that right now, as soon as I wash all the potato starch off my hand. Let's see what you guys are up to. lurking. Awesome. I love it. So, let's get this plate out of our way for a minute. And it's a potato plate, so it's clean. But with this thing needs to be brushed with something wet to get it all down in those gills and make sure that it's gonna stick. So we've got olive oil here, and we also have butter. And so in this bowl right here, which has only red celery in it, so it should be fine, I'm gonna dabble a little bit of olive oil, and I'm also gonna get a little pat of butter. Because the two can coexist beautifully. And then we're going to get some other good stuff and throw in there. Okay. Little butter. Now watch this, guys. You're going to like this. I'll be right back. If I've got any. Yeah, here we go. Okay. We're going to melt that butter first in the microwave for a second. But I have got Worcestershire and mustard. And you know what? Let's give them a few drops of hot and spicy. How about it? Doesn't that sound good? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Not so that it like is, you know, setting your mouth on fire. Just like a drop. Just to make it interesting. All right. Oil and butter. Mustard is always good on a potato. We just want like a little tiny dot of Worcestershire just to richen up the flavor a bit. I mean, just like drips. You don't want like a whole big slurp of it. And with this, like I said, just enough. Yeah. 3 drops. That's good. All right. Now that, frankly, looks disgusting until you mix it up, but when you do mix it up, it's going to be great. So, get your brush. All right, stir that into a sauce. Now that smells really good. Now see, doesn't that look much better than it did a minute ago? Alright, so brush it in and on your potato. Make sure you get it all down in the gills. Where it needs to separate it a little bit. And where it's too far apart, you know, just push it together. Come on. There we go. It's not cooperating with me. There we go. Alright. Just smear that all down in there. Get it in good and all through the potato. Just so that each and every little medallion has plenty of the sauce in and on it. It's going to be great. I try not to salt potatoes before I cook them because potatoes will, in fact, absorb the salt flavor. I don't know what the chemical mechanism is or why they do it, but if you have a potato and you put salt on it before it's cooked, you can't really taste the salt much while it's cooking, or even after it's cooked. It tastes bland, it tastes bland, it tastes bland, so you keep adding more salt and more salt and more salt. And finally, you wonder why your eyeballs are drying out. Okay, there is a pretty potato. And since it's all slathered up in goo and I don't want to set our pretty potato down, I'm going to kind of perch it right there and go get the cookie sheet that we're going to bake it on. There we go. Don't worry. All is well. There we go. Cookie sheet, potato, And a little, I think, oil just on the bottom of that, if I can figure out what the heck I did with my oil. Just so that it doesn't dry out on the bottom and get all scungy. Just a little touch of oil around the base of the potato. There we go. All right. So let's go put this in the oven with our other potatoes. And yeah, by the way, for anyone curious, that skewer, that metal cast iron skewer, yes, it will be hotter than Hades when I pull it out of the oven, so be careful with that. Bamboo skewers are a little safer if you want to be safe, but that was on 315. I'm going to jack that up to about 385 now so that that potato can bake. But when I do that, we're going to have to keep an eye on our other potatoes. So maybe before I continue, I should probably set the timer for, oh, let's start it out at 10 minutes and see what we got. Well, 11. 10, 11, same thing, you know. We got this other cookie sheet. Back up here. Yeah. Hey, there's a lot of advantages to being a short guy, but that ain't one of them. Okay, now, time for the patties. So, we get a plate, and if anyone knows how to get like a rust ring off the back of a plate, let me know, because it happened to this one in the dishwasher, and I love these plates. But that one has a mark on the back, and I don't like it. So, piece of towel paper, just to absorb anything that comes off of our patties. And we're going to get us a nice pan. I think we're going to fry these things in, excuse me, olive oil instead of butter, just for fun. Let me put the celery away. Okie dokie. There we go. Now, you guys ought to be able to see this in the sorry, in the stove cam. And I'll show you a little trick when this heats up a bit. I don't know how well you can see the oil kind of starts to get a little ripple in it when it gets hot. But in order to know when it's hot enough to actually cook with, you want to know that it sizzles when it touches, you know, water or anything containing water. I'm also going to get my towel close by here because I'm going to want to rinse and wash my hands and all that after I touch this. But if you want, yeah, see how the oil moves around a lot? It seems thinner and it runs a lot faster and better. But if you want to know how hot it is, get a little dot of water on your finger and hear that? Just one little drop is enough to let you know that that's hot enough. And I probably got it too hot. Let me turn it down. So now we're going to make our patties and just huck them right on into the pot. So shape yourself a patty. I'll show you this here. And just right into the pan. And you hit the part of your hand where that it splashed you with hot oil with cold water to stop the burn. Ow. And then you move right on to the next one. But this time, you don't put it in real slow like a nitwit, like I just did. Bear in mind I was trying to show everyone what I was doing, but what I should have been doing is keeping my eye on what I was doing. That's alright. It'll be fine. Just get a little bit going here. Got a little little carrot fell out of the patty. We might try and rescue that and get it put back in a minute, but if not, it'll be fine. Three patties might be enough for right now. I need to get a little oil moving around in that so they don't stick. And what I also should have done is salt the pan before I stuck the patties down. There we go. Yeah, see, they're not sticking. Let's, oh, where's my lid? Sorry. Let's get a lid on that real quick so that they kind of cook a little more evenly. Buddy of mine calling me. Hey Mark, if you can see this, I will call you back later, I promise. Oh man, you guys should smell it in here. It's wonderful. All right, so these are going to be real good. And since this is a non-stick pan, we are going to want a nice nylon spatula. I love my metal spatulas, but do not use them on non-stick pans. They're meant for pans like this. Stainless steel, heavy copper bottom. That is the kind of pan you can use a metal spatula on. These things over here, nylon. Speaking of which, I probably ought to get my tail over there and start paying attention to the cooking. Yeah, here we go. Kind of give them a little push, make sure they amalgamate and stay together. Oh yeah, look at that. They're good and slippery with that olive oil. Now you'll notice I didn't cook the carrots before I put them in here, so they are going to be crunchy, which is why I cut them so very fine. Because I like crunch in these patties. It gives them texture. It gives them, you know, it makes them interesting. But the problem is if you want them more like smooth, if you want them more delicate and tender, you're going to want to cook your vegetables before you throw them in, because these cook up real fast, and everything that goes into them is in fact ready to eat. So you know, other than the egg, of course, you know, you want to leave these in just long enough to make sure that the egg all through them cooks, and you can tell that it's good, the egg's in there, because it makes that wonderful glaze on the outside of it. But just so long as you know that your egg inside these things is completely cooked, you are good to eat them. Oh, I was like, what's that? And it turns out it's my potatoes. I need to check on these potatoes in a minute. Man, they smell good. Yeah, there we go. But there we go. Flip this over one more time. Just making sure that all this egg in there is done before we take it off. That was louder than I thought it'd be. And while we give that half a second, let's check on these potatoes. Yeah, those are starting to look pretty good. But we'll throw that on a couple more minutes. That's gonna be great. So how you guys doing this evening? Y'all doing anything fancy or interesting while you're watching the stream? Anything going on? Feel free to share in the chat, and I'll try and answer as soon as I can. I'm a little below the top window of the camera there, I can see. Sorry. But let's check on these. Whoop. I need a little more oil in there. It's absorbed them all, and I'm also going to need to turn this fan on to get the smoke off of there. There we go. Those might have stayed slightly too long, but that's okay. Let's turn that down a bit. Just a bit. Get a little more oil going on this thing, because it looks like it needs it. There we go. Olive oil has a very low smoke point. So it'll get smoky on you real fast if you ain't careful. Just make a little patty and away we go. You don't want to necessarily throw them down in there because they'll fall apart on you. But at the same time, you don't want to dawdle and leave your hand down there because there's water in the fish and the vegetables and there's the egg in there. And when you put it in the oil, it will spit. So if you leave your hand down there, you're going to get splashed, which isn't the end of the world. If you've been cooking as long as I have, you're very familiar with the sensation. But that being said, there's no reason to seek it out. Trying to get all our patty fixings here. Alright. This ought to do. Alright. Final salmon patty. In a minute, I'm going to give you guys a pop quiz and see if you remember which one of these I put in the pan first, because I don't. I remember the bottom one was last, or the one closest to me when I stand at the stove. Going to give this one a push so it stays together a little better. Also, I'm doing something really stupid. I haven't dried my hands and I'm holding them over a vat of oil. That's, yeah, don't do that at home, kids. Like, at all. And I gotta check on these potatoes real quick, so give me a moment. I'm gonna check your chat real quick, and then I'm gonna see what the potatoes are doing. Here we go. The potatoes are potating, as it turns out. So we're just going to clean up a little bit while the potatoes potate. I know, that's not a word. But my job is to entertain, not to be semantically correct. Bear that in mind. Let's see here. Oop. No. Fire kicked in. Let's clean off our knives. And that can actually go right back in the drawer because there's nothing on it. Because we put everything in a Ziploc bag before we crushed it. Now, I wish I could show you guys this, but there's really no good way of getting the camera there. The nice part about having a bull nose on the counter, you know, that little lip that has like the little up and then it just kind of comes off the edge, you can get your hand up under there and just scoop all the stuff off real easy. But because there is a little bit of a rise to it, the stuff doesn't just fall off your counter while you're messing with it, but it does when you scrape it off. I'll be right back. Oh, crap. I almost forgot about my patties here. But I turned that heat down. Oh, that's perfect. They're nice and golden. See, I was worried for nothing. Of course, the flip side of that is they're going to be mildly oilier than the other ones because I'm not cooking them as hot. But that said, there's a cautionary tale to mind what you're doing on the stove at all times. And not get distracted by things like the radio, or the TV, or the internet, or or your Twitch stream. Now, after this, we have one more thing that we're going to do. We're going to do some nice skewers with some chili lime shrimp, and it's going to be tasty. But I've got enough to keep my eyes on without starting on this right now, so we're going to get the patties off, and then we're going to start peeling these. What I can do is get rid of this bag for right now, which means we can finally do away with our tuna cans, or salmon cans. And that way they don't stink to high heaven. Normally I try to recycle cans like this, but recycling day was yesterday, and these are going to really smell if I just leave them in the bin. So, and then there's feral cats, and we don't want any of that, and the critters, and no, so. And like 99 times out of 100, I'd put up with it, but. I have enough going on this week without feral cats invading my place. There we go. Let's get a look at these taters real quick. Oh yeah, there we go. The tater skins are almost ready. I'll probably move the big potato to the middle rack after I take them out, but in the meantime we're going to leave them where they are and let them finish and keep an eye on these patties, which are turning a delightful golden brown, but are cooking a little too slowly this time around, as opposed to last time where they were cooking a little too quickly for my liking. But that's okay. We will make do, and you can always make it work, you know? Let's see. So, what I'm probably going to do real quick, because I've got time, is to wash these shrimp, and then we'll peel them after. But, let's, alright, let me show you guys this. We got a bag. We got a strainer. We have water. We take the water. We put it in the bag. Probably enough. We shake the bag. Just jimmy it around real good. Put the bag in the strainer. Grab the bottom of the bag and gently lift the bag off the shrimp and the water. And then you can finish rinsing the shrimp. But and then you hurry up and get your butt over to your patties before they burn. But yeah, easy way to rinse shrimp out of the bag so they don't get all gross and slimy. Alright, those are about done. I'm going to stick these in a bowl or on a plate so that we can peel them. You know what? We got this nice paper that they came in. Bright new fresh butcher's paper. Let's just stick them on that. I'm going to go throw away this awful bag, and I'll be right back. There we go. All right, let's wash our hands and then go get these patties off. Okay. All righty. Don't those look beautiful? Look at that. I'm really going to enjoy those. And, yeah, I don't quite know what to do with that because there's a little more oil in there than I anticipated. Let me just, there's a little jar down here for oil. I'm not pouring it down the sink, in case you were wondering. What I do want to do is rinse this out and wash it while it's still good and hot. So get your little dish soap in there, get you a nice sponge, and carefully wash it out while it's hot so nothing sticks to it. If you're real careful and don't burn yourself, this is amazing because look how easy this pan is to clean while it's hot. I tend to use a washcloth, not a sponge, but again, poor planning seems to be the theme this evening, so sorry about that. See, look at this. Now, how many times have you guys stood in front of the sink and had a pan that you just fried something in, you're scraping, and you're thinking, oh, I don't want to ruin this pan, but this is stuck to it. Well, if you clean it while it's hot, that don't happen. Alright. Just be careful when you do that because, you know, it's hot. So, let me check these potatoes real quick, and then we'll get going on the shrimps. They're going to be good. Whew! Look at that! We got potatoes. Let me check this other potato here real quick. See if it needs anything. It's coming along real nice. I just need to move it up a bit. And I think it could actually use a little more oil. So let's pop it out here. Yeah, see? It's coming along real nicely too. But we're going to give it just a little more oil so that it doesn't stick and burn. And I'll throw that right back in the oven here real quick. And if you guys want a good close look at it while it's out. See, coming along really nicely. And unlike a cake, you can take a potato out of the oven and it doesn't really care about it because it's a potato. So it's not like the yeast is going to fall or anything. That said, we're going to throw another, let's do another 7 minutes. That'd be about right. And then we're going to peel and skewer these shrimp. So let's see what we got here. Now, peeling shrimp is easy enough. I think we can get by with a little plate. These are already deveined on the top, so really all you got to do is pull down, squeeze the tail, out it comes. Again, just pull down from the sides, grab its little feet, and just kind of pull them away. Then just squeeze the tail, it comes right off. And then you have a nice peeled shrimp. Now, you'll notice, and I say this every time I have shrimp on the stream, these are not pink, these are gray. That is because they are not cooked yet. These are raw. If you see that like bright pink color in shrimp, You know that nice little flamingo pink color that shrimp always are? That means that the shrimp are cooked. These will be that color when we finish with them, but for right now, they are uncooked. And I haven't decided what I want to do with these, if I want to throw them in a pan and fry them up, or if I want to do them in the oven and kind of skewer them. And I might do half and half, unless you guys have a preference, and if you do, let me know in chat right now, and we will, we might do it that way. That one's got a bit stuck on it. There we go. There we are. Every time I'm peeling shrimp, have you ever seen a raccoon catching crayfish? Or crawdads, as we used to call them? Every time you're peeling shrimp, it always reminds me of that. Of course, raccoons like to wash their food. They dip it in the water before they eat it. And one of the saddest things I ever saw was they gave a raccoon some cotton candy. And he turned around to wash it and just looked so bewildered when it completely dissolved on him. Of course, after 2 or 3 times, he learned not to do it, and then he enjoyed his cotton candy. So the story has a happy ending, but still. Okay. Now, do any of you guys have preference as to how we cook these? Are we going to skewer them, or are we going to fry them up? Because I'm down for either. And it doesn't look like you guys have a preference, so you know what? Why not both? So, for the skewered ones, we need a skewer. Cast iron in this case, but you could use bamboo. We'll just stick the shrimp on the skewer, like so. And I find if you go through the tail end, the head, kind of, you know, pegging it twice, it doesn't go anywhere on you. Whereas if you do it like this, it might fall apart in the oven or the grill or wherever it is you're sticking it. If you do them sideways like this, they tend to stay together a lot better. There we go. So that's going to be our skewer set. This is going to be our set that we fry up. But they're going to get the same treatment. So we'll just kind of spread these out. And I'm going to go get my stuff here real quick. So, and let me get a glance at this potato real quick before I get going on this. Let's see. Oh man, guys, that potato's starting to look real good. I'm starting to get hungry. Okay, so we've got a lime, which we're going to need to cut into in a second here. And in a minute, if I can find it, you guys are about to recognize my favorite knife. Joyce Chen cooking knife. It's wonderful. So, for the ones here, we're just going to squeeze half of the lime juice on this half onto, and the same here. Now, I'm going to reserve some of the lime because I am going to put some of it in the pan while the shrimp are in fact frying. Hit both sides because shrimp have 2 sides. Now, I'll set that aside because it's still good. Let me wash my hand so I don't get sticky. Now, what do we want on this? We want it tasty. So let's do a little salt, salt, salt. Actually, I know what I have, and I've already salted it, so I'll go light on it. But I've got some Chardonnay smoked sea salt. It's a special occasion. We'll haul that out. That's going to be really good. we will stick that on the fried ones because I think it's going to fall off of the ones in the oven a little too much. And if I had a whole bunch of it, I'd go ahead and throw it on the ones in the oven too, but I don't. So the ones in the oven are just going to kind of roast up and be their own thing. So we're going to spice them differently from here on out. The ones going in the oven are going to get a hint of cascabel chili pepper, which I love very much, and it's very tasty. And we might put a little garlic on them. There we go. And if something's going to go like that, just kind of pat it to kind of get it to stick. Come on. There we go. There we go. Cascabel chili pepper and black pepper. Everyone likes black pepper, except I'm out. Well, almost out. Come on. That's good enough. All right. The potato's calling to me, so let me go check on that real quick. Yeah. Come with me a second, guys. We're going to pull out this potato, and we're going to stick a fork in it to see if it is, in fact, getting close to done, because we don't want to overdo it. And I don't think that it is, but better safe than sorry. So. Nope, not there yet. Seven minutes, I think. Put our spud fork over here. So, back to our shrimp. The one on the skewer, let's throw a little garlic on. Garlic powder. Just a little bit, because I love garlic, but it does not love me. I eat garlic and I have dragon breath for the next 6 days. So I said chili lime shrimp. I'm not one to disappoint. We're going to get a little chili powder and put on this. Flip it over. There we go. All right. Okay. Now this is ready for the skillet. This is ready for the oven. This won't take long at all. So what I'm going to do is throw it in with the potato, I think, because there's plenty of room in there for it. What I think I'm going to do is, and I'll get a glove to show you guys this. Again, it doesn't mind being taken out. It's a potato. I think what I'm going to do is perch this over the corner here and let it kind of just rest there and see if I can keep it from falling down in there, so all it does is just roast in the oven. Now we need to move these out of the way so that we can get to our stove and fry up these other shrimp, which will only take a minute. Stay. Like I said, this is more food than I usually make in one go, and we've still got the fried apples that I was thinking about making. So, let's light that up. This time we're using butter. All right, butter. And we've got my butter knife, butter fork, butter fingers. Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger. Actually, I had one the other day, a Butterfinger candy bar, and I don't normally eat candy, and I couldn't tell you the last time I had a Butterfinger before that, but I had one the other day, and it was pretty good. Okay. So, we're going to wait for that butter to melt. And while we do, would you look at these tater skins? Don't they look wonderful? A little bit of sour cream on top and they'll be ready to go. You can also heat them up again now that they're done. Like if you put those in the fridge and you just like stick them in the microwave and then hit them in the toaster oven to crispy them up, that's always wonderful too. Oh look, it's about ready. We're going to want our lime here to really get some flavor going on these things. There we go. We'll just use the lime juice to rinse the excess spice right off of this. Or to explode all over ourselves. Hey, great culinary masterpieces have sacrifices. I love limes. All right. So we're just going to let that cook into a glaze here real quick. And while we do that, we're going to wash all the lime juice off of ourselves. I'll wash my glasses later. In the meantime, look at that. Isn't that starting to look pretty? And notice the shrimp are starting to go pink on us because that's the color cooked shrimp go. But let me check on you guys real quick. How's everyone doing this evening? Y'all feeling good? Y'all enjoying the stream? I hope so. There we go. Let's flip that one over. Let's crank up the heat on those. Those need to be going a little better. Oh, that's looking good. That's looking real good. Yummy. I'm going to move these potatoes and things off to a plate so that I can get this cookie sheet out of my way. And we've got twice baked potatoes. And actually I'm just going to leave that right there, but it's not got like active food on it. Go. That lime sauce is going to be really good. And these are great, and let me show you why. Because you don't have to do anything to them other than just eat them. Making sure they're cool enough first. Mm-hmm. Those are really good. So yeah, that's doing its thing. Look at those getting all delicious looking. I'll get them out of there in a minute and we'll stick them on a plate and get them out of our hair. You know what? I think just because I'm going to be eating them like popcorn, I'm going to stick them in a little bowl. Also, we whisk them around and get all that delicious sauce out of the pan. Look at that. Don't those look wonderful? Yeah. Y'all should come on by and help me eat those. All right. Remember what I said earlier. Clean the pan while it's hot, and you won't have to worry about it. Lime juice is insanely sticky. when you cook it. It's the sugars in it. Any kind of fruit like that turns really, really sticky. But, not a problem here. I'm going to leave that there because I'm thinking about cooking up some apples as a dessert. So, in the meantime, look at that. Doesn't that look wonderful and appetizing? We're just going to set those aside too with the potatoes and see what our shrimp in the oven are doing. They're almost ready. I'm going to say 2 more minutes. So yeah, I'm going to clean up this area here, and then we're going to maybe prep and fry some apples. So let me clean up here real fast, because we want a clean work area. Clean work area is a happy work area, and you don't get any weird illnesses or diseases. So there is that. Go. Just get a nice food safe cleanser. In my case, Glass Plus, Windex, yada yada, it's all the same. Just make sure your work area is clean. I'll be right back. By the way, ladies and gents, my buddy Noisy is, it looks like, currently streaming some Smite. And after we finish all this, I'll probably throw you over to him. But tomorrow, he's doing a subscriber stream. And one of the things that we're trying to get going is I might be playing some Unreal Tournament with him. Now, he plays a lot more games lately than I do. So he thinks he's going to beat me. What he doesn't realize is that I've been playing Unreal Tournament since 1999. And the version of the game that he has is one that's been heavily customized by me and my friends for the course of approximately 20 years. So he's not going to have as easy a time beating me as he thinks he is. That said, if you guys haven't yet, go check him out. I don't know if anyone's able to put like links in my chat, but if any of you can and any of you want to, be sure to link Noisy Boy Jr. because he is awesome. He's a great streamer, he games, he's a fun guy, and I really like him a lot. He's a good friend, so check him out. In the meantime, let's cut up some apples. I got these the other day and I dropped them about 3 times on the way in, so they've got some bruises on them. Unfortunately, well, that one doesn't, but one of them does. I know it because I saw it. Oh yeah, that'll be the one. So, that one. Let's just get the bad spot off of that. Sometimes the bad spot goes a little deeper than you think. So, we'll carve it out till it's gone. There we go. Much better. No reason to waste a whole apple just from one bad spot, right? Oh my, those are good, and that's exactly why I picked them up. They're a new type of apple called Kiku apples, and I was going to make fried apples with them, but man, that tastes like candy. I want a piece of that. Ooh, that's good. Kiku apple. Huh. It almost seems like a shame to fry that up. I might change my mind on that. Let's see how this tater's doing. That's good stuff. Couple more minutes on this potato. I'm deciding whether I want to fry these or just eat them raw. Of course, I probably won't eat 4 raw apples, although you never know. But I'm making good inroads on this one. Let's see how you guys are doing. Julia Child, hey, I know better, but I don't actually have the real Julia Child in my cooking stream, do I? I picked this up online. I saw it and I ordered it. It's a Chinese wholesale place called DH Gate. They sell clothing and accessories and things like that. They sell pretty much everything. I actually saw it when I was... What was I buying? I think like a bracket for something. But at any rate, takes forever to get here, but it was like $6. So, but I will send you the link if you DM me, because they are they're inexpensive and it's really warm. It's a little bit oddly proportioned, but I'm kind of getting used to it. So, yeah, send me a DM or meet me in Tins or Noisy's Discord, and I'll let you know where to find one. I think they also have them in yellow. Let's see. And how are you doing this evening? And, of course, I can do a Julia Child impression, but, you probably wouldn't like it if you were the real Julia Child. It's Julia's Child, actually, I've just noticed. Sorry. I think we're onto something with this potato. Come here. Let me move this pan out of the way. I'm not going to be using it. And, we're also roasting up the other shrimp on this. They look like they could use a turn. And a minute back in there. You know what? They'll be fine like that. Let me test this potato. The potato is not crunchy, but it's not ready yet either. So back in it goes. Yeah, and the shrimp will be fine leaning down like that, just so long as it's not touching the oil. If I had like a, well, you know, I could have put, bear with me, because you guys will like this. If you suspend one of these, it's a cookie cooling rack, but if you suspend it over a cookie sheet so that it catches the drippings, you can use this kind of as a makeshift grill inside your oven for things like those shrimp skewers. I've done it with chicken skewers, I've done it with kebabs, I've done it with, like, you know, you do the beef and the peppers and the onions and the mushrooms kind of alternating on a skewer. And these work really good if you stick them over a cookie sheet. They give it kind of the nice grill pattern and they get hot. And they give it something to rest on so that, and something hot to rest on so that it kind of allows that char to form at regular intervals and really gets it cooked well and makes it taste good. But it is a lot easier than having to go outside and fire up the grill in 30-degree weather in the middle of March. So, something to remember. Now let me put it back where I found it. And so, there you have it. That was actually a lot easier than getting it out in the first place. So, these apples, I mean, yeah, I could fry them, but I'm really just enjoying them raw. The question is, will I eat all of them raw? The answer is probably no, but they're just too good to cook. You know what I'll probably do with them? Is I'll eat on them, and if they start getting past where you really want to cook them, I'll put them in a smoothie. That'll be great. Oh man, those are good. Again, if you guys missed it the first time, new breed of apple called Kiku. And they're good. Now all we got to do is wait for the potato to finish, I guess. While we're at it, let me plate up some of this stuff and show you what it's going to look like for dinner. And you know, since I'm not going to cook these apples, apparently. I will show you something. In Japanese lunch boxes, they make little apple rabbits, and I've already cut this apple the wrong... Well, that's the wrong knife to use. Let me get a decent one. I saw this cute thing when I was over in Tokyo, and again, this is a lopsided one. But what they will do, and I am aware that this is a fish knife, but they'll cut two little slots, one there and one there up to the front, and they will peel it up, and they'll make little rabbit ears on the apples, and I'm making a total mess of it because I don't know what I'm doing, but that's okay. There we go. Apple with little bunny ears. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Bunny ear apple, you know, put little raisins for the eyes or something, and then, you know, you just kind of bite his head off. There's a good apple rabbit. So now, I fear we've come to the boring part, where since we're kind of waiting for this to do its thing, and it'll be done in about 1 more minute, I should probably start cleaning up my mess. So, we'll throw our oil back up there. I was also going to do some lima beans and corn, but that's a bit much for one evening. So I will see you guys again real soon, and we'll do some vegetables. And might cook up those apples, might show you how to make smoothies with them. I don't know yet, but sometime this weekend we'll do something fun. Got to load all this into the dishwasher, but I'll do that off stream. Right, oh, plating it up, that's right. That's what we were going to do. I need to eat dinner still. So, we're going to get ourselves a nice patty. And the rest of these patties keep in the refrigerator just fine. So if you put them in a Ziploc bag or wrap them in cling film, saran wrap, whatever you want to call it, that's fine. Get ourselves a nice potato or two. Yes, I hear you. Get some shrimp here. Oh yeah. Let's check this out. Surely this potato is soft by now. Where's my fork? There it is. All right. There we go. All right, look at that. That mustard Worcestershire sauce on that potato. And we've got our roasted up shrimp right here on our skewer. Let me move that so you guys can see that. And plate that up for you real quick. Got to make this pretty for all of you, you know? Scoop this over. This is going to be one big plate of food. Look at all the sauce caramelized on that side of the potato. That is going to be really, really tasty. So there we go. Move that out of our way. Always be sure you turn off your stove. And there, ladies and gentlemen, we have it. I'll bring it over there in a minute, but just for a nice top-down view. Oh, forgot that skewer is still a little warm. But there you go. That is our dinner for the evening. Let me bring it over here so you guys can have a better look at it. That is our plate of food for this evening's cooking stream. There you go. All right. Also, you know, we can, hang on. I want this as pretty as it can be here, so we garnish with our fresh apple there. Gotta have some kind of fruit on the plate. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for spending an evening here with me while I cook. Let's go find someone who is streaming. I think Noisy Boy is streaming Smite, so I'm going to probably throw you over to him real quick. Come and visit us tomorrow, because I'm probably going to be playing some video games against him. In the meantime, I am going to go clean up my kitchen and enjoy my food. Thank you. It does look delish, doesn't it? I'm looking forward to tucking into it here in a second. Don't forget to send me a DM. I'll send you a link for the sweater. I'm actually really enjoying it. And you too can enjoy one. That said, I'm going to throw you guys over to Noisy Boy Jr. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I will see you guys next time. Take care. And let's see. Host. Make sure I spell his name right. Good night, everybody. Well, I think it's going.